Welcome back to A Minute of Reviews, and Wisteria Wandered Sword just dropped one of the greatest anime episodes this season. Nah, cancel that. One of the greatest anime episodes I've ever seen. This episode completely shattered the fan base's expectation and left us at the edge of our seats wanting more. The final battle kicks off with the 5 students going against the king of the 25th floor, a colossal demon that only spawns in the depths of the dungeon. The greater class demon is so powerful that only a mage with the strength of 270,000 credits remotely stands a chance. To put that in Dragon Ball Z terms,
it's over 9,000!
The floor boss fires off a cataclysmic energy beam and the students barely manage to dodge it in time. With no chance of winning, they decide to retreat and find an escape route, but it's no use. High-class demons have the ability to create domains across dungeon floors, allowing them to subjugate weaker monsters. The Grand Duke causes a monster outbreak and sends them to track the party, blocking off their escape route. Will steps up and rallies the party, telling them that the only way to survive is to fight and defeat the Grand Duke before they collapse from exhaustion. Killing the greater class demon will break its control over the rest of the monsters and make it easier for the Academy search party to reach them. Will tells the party his strategy, with Julius's ice magic being the key to their plan. Will teaches him the secret of the Ice Maiden's replication spell, and the students return to the demon's lair for the final showdown. In most cases, spells can't be cast if the incantation is interrupted, but by conjuring multiple ice clones, even if one is destroyed, the rest of the clones can continue the incantation. As Julius is preparing to cast his strongest spell, Glacial E-Tier, the rest of the party covers him, but their attacks have no effect. The Grand Duke's jet black wings give it insane resistance to both magic and physical attacks. Julius unleashes his strongest spell, engulfing the entire dungeon in a massive explosion. The demon general emerges from the smoke unscathed and even more ferocious. But it's not over, and the second part of Will's plan begins. Liana activates Algius and cloaks her wandered body in divine lightning and blitzes the demon. Julius's spell was able to immobilize the demon's body, stopping it from using its wings for protection. Liana charges at it at the speed of lightning, but a barrier activates around the demon and repels her away. As she's floating helplessly in the air, Will rushes in to protect her but ends up getting hit. As the students watch in disbelief, Liana walks up and tells the rest of the party to retreat while she buys them time. Wignell also steps up, choosing to die with his best friend rather than leave her behind. The animations during this scene were freaking incredible. The lightning and the wind magic doesn't just look beautiful, but it feels alive and chaotic. Liana and Wignell were going absolutely crazy with the combo attacks, but the greater demon hits him with the almighty push, completely blowing away everything around him. We shift to Shion's perspective, who's struggling between running away and fighting. He's certain Liana and Wignell are going to die and tries to convince himself that escape would be the best option. At that moment, we see Will cowering behind Shion. He can't stop shaking after losing the memento Elfie gave him. At first, I was like, stand up, Will, they're just goggles. We don't have time for this. But thinking about it, it makes sense since he's held on to them ever since he was a child, and he's been subconsciously relying on them throughout all of his toughest fights. So seeing his confidence shatter is understandable. I'm also a huge fan of Digimon, so we must respect the goggles. Will tells Shion to punch him to stop him from shaking. Shion grabs him by the collar, frustrated that the rival has dedicated his life to beat. The man that lit a fire in them and led them to the depths of hell is in such a sorry state. So he starts punching Will. And I mean, he's really punching Will. I thought it was going to be one hit and Will would snap out of it, but my man's was really going in. Imagine being in a state of shock and asking your friend to punch you in, and he decides to go full star platinum on your ass. Shion goes in for another punch, but Will catches his fist. He thanks Shion for helping him regain his composure, grabs his sword, and charges into the jaws of the beast. Shion is confused by Will's actions, and we switch to Colette's perspective. And this is one of the reasons why I love this episode. It didn't just focus on the main character, but gave us deep insights into each student, letting you really feel and connect with them. Colette tells Shion that Will has always been scared in all of his past battles and even now. Shion, having personally witnessed how insanely powerful Will is, doesn't believe her. I was surprised too, because our boy has pulled off some pretty incredible feats. But it makes sense. Being born in a world dominated by magic and unable to use sorcery, his swordsmanship is the only thing he could rely on. Holding wands, mages can cast spells from a safe distance, but swordsmen don't have that luxury. They constantly need to put their life on the line to get close to opponents bigger and stronger than them. No matter how terrified he is, no matter how pathetic he looks, no matter how impossible his dream of ascending the tower may be, Will never runs away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the true essence of an indomitable spirit. Despite being a coward, our boy is always the first to charge into danger. The music and the voice acting when Colette was describing Will was phenomenal. Something about anime speeches just hits different. As a coward who runs away more often than not, this scene tugged on so many heartstrings. One of the surest ways to tell an anime is good is how it makes you feel. The whirlwind of emotion it invokes within your very core, those spine-tingling moments that give you goosebumps and send your adrenaline soaring. That's why I love watching anime, and that's why this episode was so fire. Faced with a massive opponent with ironclad wings and speed that surpasses even lightning, Will realizes the only hope of winning is to tear apart the greater demon's wings and bring it to the ground. Will and Colette exchange glances and she immediately understands. The greater class demon goes berserk and lets out an all-out volley of plasma beams. Our boy no longer has his familiar, a single hit means death. But Will has already seen through the attack's weaknesses. The smoke clears and all we see is his sword. Will appears from the sky and Colette begins chanting, "Roar, or cliffs of steel! Shatter, O blade of the chasm!" Will dives through the magic sigil she created and pulls out a massive claymore. In a single almighty strike, he slices the demon's wings in half. I'm not gonna lie, this scene had me squealing like a little girl. God, I love this show. The Grand Duke stumbles, but the greater demon is still not done and prepares to finish off Will. And just then we hear another chant. Soaring even higher, burning even brighter. The Crimson Prince charges in with his Flame Guardian beast and releases his advanced magic, Flame Burgulin. The music, the animations, the motion, the voice acting in this scene is so good. But even releasing advanced magic at point-blank range was not enough. Magic can't defeat it, swordsmanship can't beat it. The greater demon class is just on another level. As the screen darkens and the students prepare to meet their end, a crystal suddenly appears before Will, unlocking his sealed memories. I've had my suspicions about Rusty, but I think I finally know his or her true identity. We see a woman in all black holding a baby, proclaiming that one day Sword and Wand will unite to challenge the sealed gods. Pretty sure all this is tied to the return of the banished deities, but we'll have to wait till season 2 to find out. Will runs towards his sword, yelling at Shion that he needs his spell. The answer lies in combining the wand and sword. Without hesitation, Shion fires out Ignis Rooks towards Will, surrounding him in a sea of flames. Will devours the spell, creating a massive burning sword. This scene was absolutely epic. Will's eyes blaze crimson and an immense power surrounds him. As if urged by the unknown power, for the first time in his life, the magicless swordsman begins chanting, "Getsuga!" I'm kidding. With a supreme almighty slash, Will unleashes Ignis Whisk, the strongest technique we've seen in the series up to this point. The move is so powerful that it cleaves the greater demon's very existence in half. The wand and the sword have united to create unbelievable power. What's crazy is this episode only adapted chapter 13 of the manga, so the series is just getting started and we already have moments like this. This was hands down a 10 out of 10 episode. From the incredible animations to the majestic OST to the emotions and the voice acting, the restoring your wand and sword is hands down my favorite anime this season. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. I cover tons of anime from the most popular to the most obscure, from seinen to comedies, from shonen to mysteries. Whatever your flavor is, I got you covered. Or we'll get you covered in the future, probably. With that being said, see you guys next week. Peace.